Watch Justin Mormon every weekday morning on News 6. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now at 5 a.m.
Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore.
President Trump announcing sweeping global tariffs, which sent stock futures tumbling overnight. The plan he unveiled and the impact it could have on your wallet.
Plus new this morning, a case of road rage caught on camera on a local road. What deputies say led to one man pulling a gun on another driver.
Plus, Florida's first bear hunt in years could be close to reality. What wildlife workers have now revealed about the controversial idea. Good morning on your Thursday. It's 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Justin Mormouth. Trooper Steve here, watching the roads. Good morning. First, though, let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with a look at that pinpoint accurate forecast. Another day of heat. Although I will say, once you get around 6 p.m., it is like money out there.
Yeah, it is nice because we don't have the humidity as much. At least not yet.
It's coming.
It's teaser.
I got something for you.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, today could be the third consecutive day with highs in the 90s for the beginning of April. And it looks like we're going to have more days in the future before we start seeing a nice cool down. Right now, taking a live look outside Cape Canaveral, our launch credit union camera. You can see the palm fronds there blowing a little bit in the wind. In the wind. I don't know where that came from. The breeze right now out of the south-southeast, gusting at times up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Along our coastline, it won't be the 90s, it will be the low 80s because we do have that onshore breeze in place. Area-wide, right now, if you're walking out the door, it is 5:01. We are all in the mid to low 70s, still running between 5 and up to 7 degrees warmer this morning than yesterday. Now, rain chances are pretty much out of the picture, but we do have some coastal isolated showers along that breeze that could be possible with a couple of those afternoon storms further inland throughout Ocala and up through Gainesville. But this is where we're heading to, folks, back into the low 90s. We'll have more details on how long this springtime heat will continue coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Thank you, ma'am. 5:01 in the morning on a Thursday. It's not too bad out there. There's some lingering things, but please be careful. 528 east and westbound out here at Universal Boulevard, nice and clear. Obviously, the closer you get towards I-4, the more active the construction zone gets. Obviously, we're expanding some lanes out there, adding a lane to the entrance and exit ramps, things like that. But you can see moving okay this morning. I say okay because it's an active construction zone. You can see all that mess out on the shoulders, but no major lane closures. And you're looking good. Even closer to State Road 535 this morning, east and westbound. Looking good. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Breaking overnight, worries about new tariffs announced by President Trump sending stock futures sinking. The Dow Jones Industrial dropping more than 1,000 points at one point, meaning your 401k could take a hit when the market opens later this morning. Now, the president announced those reciprocal tariffs yesterday, saying it is time to level the playing field with U.S. trade partners.
So the big question now is, what impact could it have on your wallet? News 6's Angie Casada is following the latest live. And Angie, these new tariffs are on countries that are already charging the U.S.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, and the president was quick to point out that the tariffs are much lower than what the countries are charging us. It's a 10% tax on all imports and even higher rates for some countries, like 34% right there on top on Chinese goods. But many experts worry the bottom line will be more money out of your pocket. But the question remains, will families feel relief anytime soon, or will everyday costs go up? Now, the first round of tariffs takes effect at midnight on April 5th. Reporting in Orlando, Angie Casada, Getting Results, News 6.
Thank you, Angie. And those new tariffs come on the heels of big new charges on imports, auto imports that kick in today. It is a 25% charge on all foreign-made automobiles brought into the U.S. And then on May 3rd, those tariffs will apply to auto parts as well. Some shops and dealerships in Florida say they've seen a recent spike in business from people looking to beat the extra charge, which many business owners are already warning will have to be passed on to customers.
Because they're not going to have the option of getting something that's really, really inexpensive. With the tariffs put on them, those are going to go up.
The president says the tariffs will lead to a major boost in American manufacturing. We have a full breakdown of his tariff plan on the homepage of clickorlando.com.
Happening today, the man accused of raping 4 women in Pine Hills could testify in his own defense. Nelson Odage is facing a possible life sentence after the victims were targeted while they waited at bus stops back in 2023. Yesterday, after prosecutors rested their case, Odage's attorney said they would take the night to consider if he should testify. So far, all 4 victims have taken the stand, along with experts who linked Odage's license plate and DNA to each of the 4 scenes. Happening today, people in Florida get another chance to sound off on a proposal to hold the first bear hunt in the state in nearly a decade. The idea has drawn lots of criticism, but despite the pushback, it now appears the state may be closer than ever to giving the green light. News 6's Mark Lehman is following this story live. And Mark, we learned yesterday Fish and Wildlife, they even have a date in mind.
Yes, FWC is proposing a three-week bear hunt for December, indicating the state could be closer to making that a reality. Now, the goal is cutting down on encounters in neighborhoods like this one near Markham Woods, and that conversation is continuing today. Now, this map right here shows all bear sightings within the last 5 years. You can see just how many are here in Central Florida. Now, FWC says if this bear hunt happens, it would allow for the killing of nearly 200 bears. And today's virtual meeting begins at 5 this afternoon. If you want to make your voice heard, we posted a link to that under this story on clickorlando.com. For now, reporting live in Seminole County, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
All right, Mark, thank you for the update. 5:08 now. Let's get back to your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos joins us now. I've been checking my pool temperature, Candace.
Oh, yeah.
It's not heated, obviously, but I've been checking it periodically every couple of weeks. We're finally in the 80s. We're getting closer to being able to get in just because I'm a wimp. So we need some warmer days ahead.
Yeah, normally, at least in my pool, it's like Mother's Day. Before Mother's Day, forget about it. Although the kids can, their just lips all turn purple.
Kids, yeah, they don't feel temperatures.
No, they don't.
They see a body of water, they go.
And by the way, your pool is heated, just naturally.
Yes.
All right, let's look at those temperatures out the door. Temperatures right now in those low 70s, but we are really going to heat up as temperatures this afternoon for the 3rd day. Back into the 90s. Your temperatures along the coastline, it won't be as hot because you guys have that ocean breeze. But along that ocean breeze, we can't rule out the chance of a little rogue shower clipping the coastline throughout the day. But overall, rain chances down to only 10% along our beaches, as our current conditions right now still in the mid-70s. So the bus stop forecast, making sure the kids have their water bottles. No need for the rain gear or the sweaters. But don't put the sweaters too far away because we do have some cooler changes ahead in the forecast. Not this week, though. 90 degrees. That is your high by 3 p.m. So you do have the weekend to find all the sweaters that have gone missing for the last couple of days. Looking here at the Satellite and Radar composite, this storm right here has been just heartbreaking throughout the overnight, spinning up several massive tornadoes. We're going to continue to get more stories and videos and reports coming out of that. But in the meantime, though, big ridge of high pressure is going to be keeping us hot and dry, but also keeping the storms to the north. I'll explain more on that coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Roadways looking pretty good this morning here at 5:10. I-4, 535, east and westbound, nice and clear this morning. We are so used to seeing some lane closures out there for a few months. Kind of get used to it, right? But right now, all lanes are running smooth this morning. Up a little further north on the Florida Turnpike, approaching 429, nice and clear. Now, further north this morning, where we see those lane closures overnight, normally they say they're clear. Still an active construction zone. We might still see some slowdowns out there this morning, but for right now, I-4 and Seminole as well, looking good. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. We're hitting the road to Oviedo this week, and today we're talking traffic.
Of course, straight ahead, the big changes coming to one major road, all in hopes of making your daily drive less crowded.
Plus, nightlife in downtown Orlando getting slim. New this morning, the announcement of which popular bars are now closing and what the owners say is to blame.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation. Get the latest news, weather, and more from the News 6 Plus streaming app. Visit the Apple TV App Store to download the News 6 Plus app today.
All week, WKMG is hitting the road to Oviedo, and as part of our coverage, we asked about your concerns. Many of you told us it's the traffic. So new this morning, we sent investigator Donovan Myrie to find out what's being done in and around Oviedo to make driving easier. Well, Seminole County tells News 6 that they were originally looking at extending Slavia Road all the way to Alafaya Trail, but that neighbors were against that proposal. Anchor Lisa Bell will be back in Oviedo today as part of our live Hits the Road coverage. She's going to show you some Hidden gems that brings in people from all over the world. It all starts at 4 o'clock right here on WKMG.
We're looking forward to that. New this morning, 2 more downtown Orlando bars say they're closing up shop and say strict new rules from the city are to blame. In a message on social media, the owners of One Up and High Tea Orlando say they had no choice because of what they say are insurmountable costs. The message specifically points to a new ordinance passed in 2023 that mandates any business that serves alcohol after midnight buy a special permit and help cover security costs. Owners say it has cost them tens of thousands of dollars that they just don't have. Well, a family got quite the surprise while taking photos in the nation's capital.
One of those pictures was photobombed by a very famous face.
I was like, what happened? He was like, that's President Obama over there. I was like, what?
That's right. In the background of that woman's 2 young children is the former president having a stroll. Yeah, just along the tidal basin there. The photo went viral, as you can imagine. Mr. Obama actually reposted it on Instagram.
That's funny.
With the caption reading, "My bad for stepping into the shot."
I love this.
I mean, everyone wants to check out the cherry blossoms right now. They're in bloom in D.C. Even the former president wants to get out there and
That's funny.
photobomb, too.
I just love, if you look closely on that photo, former president, no joke, he's just casual.
Yeah,
He has
just no turn, no
idea.
smile.
And the Secret Service just,
Yeah. They're
Great
looking for
shot.
threats, not for, just
Photobombs.
photobombs. It's funny, could you imagine, knowing me, I'm so focused on making sure they're both smiling at the exact same time, this and that, I'd be like, excuse me, sir, can you just wait for a second?
No matter who it is.
Do you know you look like Obama? Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great, that's a core memory right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. You're putting that on the About Me folders, those picture
yeah.
poster boards
Oh, yeah.
for the next couple years.
That'll be pinned at the top of the profile.
yeah. That's a framed photo.
That is true. All right, here's what to expect over the next couple of days. We don't have cherry blossoms, but we have a whole lot of heat across Central Florida as temperatures for the 3rd day will be topping back off into those low 90s. Still on the muggier side, feeling very tropical, but we don't have any rain to contend with. So it feels like summer, but minus the storms. Now we are going to bring back some storms, some heavy rain at times late Monday and into Tuesday. Your weekend's looking dry, but hot. But once we get the rain out of here by Tuesday, we're talking much cooler air. That's why I told you just a few minutes ago, make sure you find where the jackets are, because our mornings will be back down into the 50s. Although it's not cold, it is going to be a shock to the system after the week we've had. Looking at those temperatures out the door on this Thursday, one day closer towards that weekend, we're in those mid to low 70s, pretty much area-wide. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today. Got the pool in the background here just because. Again, 3rd day in the 90s. We got to put the pool forecast there in the back. We're at 90 degrees. It's going to be another hot day, staying mostly sunny, so more sunshine than cloud covers throughout the afternoon. So let's talk about the changes ahead. As we finally watch our new cold front come through, that big ridge of high pressure that's blocking all that severe weather threat that we're going to be watching for the next 3 days. We'll continue to keep all the storms up to our north. That high will finally start to break down for the weekend, allowing for our next cold front to move into Central Florida, and that is going to really build up that heat. Notice how hot temperatures get for the next couple of days into the weekend, possibly into those mid-90s. Rain chances return early Tuesday, late Monday, and once that front clears, notice we're going to go from those bright red contours to those yellows and blues, indicating some cooler changes ahead. Overnight lows in the 60s and the 50s, highs in the 70s. But I do want to turn your attention to last year. So later on today, the Colorado State University update is coming out for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. But yesterday, the World Meteorological Organization, by the way, came together and officially retired Hurricane Beryl, Hurricane Helene, and Hurricane Milton, meaning that we will never get those names anymore on a hurricane list. The new names that they've swapped out is now Brianna, Holly, and Miguel. That's that 6-year rotation. So the next time we'll see the names will come in 2030. So that's just a quick update. And also, talking about hurricane season officially begins in 59 days. As we get results here, the full 7-day forecast. In the meantime, though, it's not hurricane season, but it certainly feels like the summer season in those low 90s. Next chance for rain, again, returns on Tuesday. Now let's check on those roadways. The Trooper Steve, he's got your pinpoint traffic.
No, I've got to agree with Justin. That yesterday evening, that sun started to set. It was gorgeous outside. A little hot, but it's perfect. Keep it nice and smooth. Right now, our roadways look great this morning, but then again, I'm trying to be nice and positive. It's 5:21 in the morning. Not many of you guys out there. State Road 50 out on the west side, clear. Lake Mary, Longwood, Winter Springs, Castleberry, even on the west side, Wekiva Springs. You guys look pretty smooth this morning with no issues. Further east, DOT cam showing I-4 east of Dirksen, nice and clear. Yesterday, we did have a crash out in this area, westbound out in the left travel lane. Got to remember, that area tends to back up in the morning, so increase the following distance and prepare yourself for the brakes. Don't always just watch the car in front of you, maybe 2-3 cars out, so you're not slamming on those brakes. 417 down at Curry Ford, and then it looks like this is going to be Curry Ford and Alafaya. May have a minor crash there. I'll have more when I come back. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. The time is now 5:22. Hurricane season right around the corner, but there are some storm names you won't see this year or in the future.
Candace already gave it away, but at the bottom of the hour, we're going to remind you the names being retired after last year's horrible season.
And a consumer alert when it comes to your taxes. The social media advice the IRS is telling you to ignore.
No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Well, you see her every weekday here on WKMG. That will soon change, though.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, after 30 years, Deborah Norville announced she will soon be stepping down as host of Inside Edition.
Now is the time for me to move on from Inside Edition. They made me a lovely offer to stay, but there are things I'd like to do and places I want to do them that continuing here don't permit.
Norville made the announcement yesterday, saying she will leave at the end of the season. She joined Inside Edition back in 1995 after leaving CBS News. Norville says she has some, quote, exciting plans for the future and will reveal them in the coming months.
Well, one man taking the title of the worst ex ever.
Coming up, the unusual animal he's accused of stealing from his ex. Plus, bats are now invading a Central Florida stadium. Up next, the plan to get rid of them.
And President Trump's recently announced tariffs causing reaction across the globe. But how exactly will this impact your bottom line? That answer up next.
As a state trooper patrolling these roads, I know why traffic is bad, and I know how to make your commute smoother. Let me get you through traffic on News 6 Mornings.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
5:30, let's get a check of our top stories. Breaking overnight, futures on Wall Street have taken a huge dive following President Trump's announcement about new global tariffs. They're going to go in place this weekend against 60 countries. Some experts are warning it will lead to higher prices on many items.
Prosecutors say they will give a, quote, significant update today on the case of a 10-year-old Tavares boy who police say was abused to death. The boy's mother and her boyfriend are currently locked up facing murder charges.
And FWC will hold another public meeting today over a proposal for a new bear hunt in Florida. Yesterday, wildlife workers revealed that hunt could happen in December, despite strong opposition from animal rights advocates.
All right, turning now to your weather. Some of you can't bear the heat we've been getting. You're looking live right now, downtown Orlando. It looks pretty clear, but Candace, we're still, flirting here with the 90s.
Yeah, yesterday and the day before we hit 90 degrees. We certainly will have the opportunity to do so today, tomorrow, and even into the weekend. By the way, we're going to crank up that heat a little further, though, even come Saturday and especially Sunday. So let's first talk about what's going on the moment you walk out the door. No need for the sweater or the rain gear today. Temperatures currently still in the low 70s, almost area-wide. Our humidity is up there at 97%. Not a lot of fog getting picked up right now on our models. We, of course, will continue to keep close tabs on that. But that breeze right now picking up out of the east-southeast, gusts upwards about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we do have just enough of a breeze in place, help mix the air, so I don't see a lot of fog in our forecast for this morning. Now, temperatures out the door again. It is 5:32 in the morning on this Thursday, and most of our area right now is still in the 70s. We haven't even cooled down to the 60s where we should be this time of the year. Now, later on this afternoon, we are back to well above average. We'll be in those low to mid 80s because of that onshore breeze along our coastline, but back to the 90s we go further inland. We'll have more details, though, on how much longer this heat will last and when you will need to maybe take out your sweaters in the forecast. Now let's check on those roadways. So Trooper Steve, he's got your pinpoint traffic.
That's why I always keep a jacket in the closet by the door out there, just in case,
Smart.
right? I-4 in Volusia, we look good this morning. Real dark out here by Dirksen. East and westbound traffic, though, looking pretty decent this morning. Nice start to the day. Don't expect much problems at 5:30 in the morning. 417 in Curry Ford looking good. This crash out here going to be minor for now until I get an update. Curry Ford and Alafaya, if you're waking up early, maybe headed out, that's all residential out there. And then 528 looking really nice all the way from the airport. And if you're headed east towards Brevard County. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Breaking overnight, President Trump's new global tariffs are sparking reaction from Wall Street.
Yeah, overnight stock futures took a huge tumble just hours after Trump announced dozens of U.S. trade partners will need to get more of their goods into the U.S. They're going to need more. News 6's Angie Casada joins us live. And Angie, the president says this will boost the economy, but it's people's wallets that could feel the pinch short term.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, with these new tariffs set to take in effect in just a few days, some experts say it's consumers that need to prepare for what could be major price increases.
All right, Angie, thank you. So a lot of people are asking, what's the bottom line on this? So here are the things to know. First, the potential for higher prices on everyday items. Many experts say it's almost a certainty, but the administration is downplaying that. Second would be retirement accounts. We've already seen stocks go down in recent weeks over these tariffs, and if they don't rebound, of course, that could have a big impact. And for us, there's the tourism impacts. In fact, we talked to Visit Orlando yesterday, who told us if the tariffs push inflation higher, that could impact the number of visitors who come to the area. And if you want to see an in-depth breakdown of what that could look like, we have posted it on clickorlando.com. Just look right on the homepage.
Happening today, prosecutors in Lake County are set to give an update on a brutal case of child abuse that left a 10-year-old boy dead. The state attorney's office says it will provide a, quote, significant development in the prosecution of both Andre Walker and Kimberly Mills. Now, the pair are currently locked up and facing charges connected to the death of Mills' son, Xavier Williams. Investigators say the boy had been abused and tortured and died last month after spending weeks in the hospital. Today's announcement is set for 2:30.
This morning, we're hearing from one of the teenagers allegedly held at gunpoint all while they were just fishing in a Melbourne subdivision. 59-year-old Donna Elkins is accused of pulling a pellet gun on the boys last week, saying they were trespassing on her property. The teen boys caught the whole thing on camera.
Do you get people in your backyard?
Sometimes, man.
That's definitely sad. Because if someone goes in your backyard, you can blow their heads off. I have a right to protect my property and my house.
All right, so the sheriff's office says those boys were actually 30 feet away from Elkins' backyard in the Bay Tree neighborhood. So News 6's James Barbero spoke to one of them over the phone.
I'm still pretty shaken up. I just can't believe it really happened. That I got a gun pulled on me.
And James also spoke to Elkins. She says she wants to tell her side of the story as well, but she is not yet ready to be interviewed. She is facing charges of aggravated assault and false imprisonment.
New this morning, Florida's newest congressmen, Randy Fine and Jimmy Petronis, have officially been sworn in. We told you how the two Republican lawmakers won special elections on Tuesday. Fine will represent Florida's 6th congressional district in the seat formerly held by Mike Waltz. Petronis will take Matt Gaetz's old seat in the 1st district. The House now stands at 220 Republicans and 213 Democrats.
Tornadoes tearing across the central United States. Now hundreds of thousands of people are dealing with the aftermath and knocked out power. This morning, we are getting first looks at the results of these severe storms. In some areas, brace for another potential round. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest on this devastation. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible images there. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos has a look at where that system is sort of at right now, continuing to move eastward.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to stay. As they mentioned there in that story, it's not just going to be for another day or so. It's possibly for the next 3 days, as this area of low pressure with that trailing cold front, you can see here all the little bright purples and reds indicating still throughout the overnight tornado warnings, confirmed tornado warnings. And just look within the last 24 hours how many storm reports, tornadoes, funnel clouds, flood damage. When we talk about rain like that and storms like that producing torrential downpours for days on end, the concern for catastrophic flooding in some of these towns certainly could be a possibility. Look at the severe weather risk. Yesterday, it was up to a level 5, historic for this time, this kind of place in the country. Still another high risk in the forecast for later on today. This is tomorrow, and then finally starting to shift further south on Saturday. Now, in the meantime, though, this big ridge of high pressure is actually what's holding this front just to our north. We'll have more details on when this front will finally make its way here into Central Florida coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Things not too bad out there. If you're still getting ready to hit the road and you're waking up out in Waterford Lakes, that crash right there is a little closer west of the intersection of Alafaya, but it's on Curry Ford. Shouldn't slow you down. It happened about 1 o'clock this morning. Brevard County, good morning to you. Port St. John, A1A, US 1, Cocoa, Rockledge, South Patrick, Satellite, Indian Harbor, Melbourne. We can name them all. Things look good. It's 5:41 in the morning. Yesterday out on patrol, we were just driving around out way up in Marion County along County Road 484. We did some research about this project out here. Now, it is scheduled to be completed, quote unquote, fall of this year. I don't know about that. Head over to clickorlando.com and you can check out that stream. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. The results are in, and Florida is home to some of the top schools in the nation.
Coming up, the Central Florida locations ranked among the top 10. Plus,
relax,
how far would you go to get back an ex? This is interesting. What one man is accused of doing to his ex's pet chicken and why it landed him behind bars.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
I've dreamt of reporting news here since I was in the 2nd grade because this is my hometown. Growing up in Brevard, I loved watching shuttle launches with my family. I think that's where I get my sense of adventure. I want to be able to help the people here by telling their stories and helping them get results. That's the perfect day for me. Start your day differently. I'm Crystal Moyer. Watch News 6 Mornings.
Weekday mornings from 5 to 7 a.m. right here on News 6.
All right, it's time for Ask Trooper Steve, where I get to answer some of the questions that you sent in to me. And today, it was an interesting one. So I received an email, and the viewer said, so I may or may not have parked in a no parking area, and then my car got towed. What do I do? All right, so let's talk about that specifically. So whenever you're out and about, right, and you're parking in whether a private parking lot, public, or parallel parking, or maybe even in your apartment complex, you have to look for signs. If the signs indicate certain rules, well, then you have to follow those signs. What happens if you come outside and your car's it's just gone? What are the procedures? What should you be doing? Well, first, don't panic right away. A lot of people think their car got stolen. Tow trucks are required to follow certain steps and make certain notifications when they tow a vehicle, as long as they're not like one of those sketchy tow truck companies. But they are required to make notifications. So easy thing, Google your non-emergency phone number for your local law enforcement agencies. Let them know your vehicle's missing. Know your tag number. They're going to run that, and they're going to know where your vehicle's stored at. And maybe you should park in a better parking spot. If you've got a traffic safety question, you want me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Just a bizarre story out of Washington State. A man arrested after deputies say he broke into his ex-girlfriend's home to steal her pet chicken.
Show me your hands. That's fine. Just hold your chicken. I'm not going to hurt your chicken.
Hold your chicken. All right. Well, the ex-girlfriend says the 50-year-old suspect left the home with the chicken yelling, "I've got Polly." The sheriff's office says the suspect had just been released from jail 2 hours prior. Officials allowed him to place the chicken in a patrol unit before booking him into jail. Polly, though, was safely returned. And no, the ex did not get any of those eggs.
Wow.
Can't make this stuff up.
Messy right there.
Yeah.
Oof.
See, not everything crazy happens here.
That's
Good
true.
point.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's probably Eastern Washington, based on the geography there. Kind of know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that is true.
What part? But as you know.
The weather's nicer now after the cold, wet winters that they have now. All the everyone's back out, even I guess out of prison. All right, let's look at those big changes on the way across Central Florida. Temperatures for the next couple of days back to near 90. Drier days are ahead. Now we're going to get pretty close to near record temperatures on Sunday, really, 92. That's our forecast high on Sunday and Monday as well, by the way. And our record to beat is 93. So closing in on near records before finally we'll start to see a break from this heat. But we're not, as Florida standards, the way we do things, it's all extreme, right? We're going to go into the low 90s, and then we're going to drop well below average into those mid 70s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, temperatures out the door, we're in the 70s, but it's 5:49 in the morning. We should be in like the 50s and 60s. We're at 73 degrees right now in Daytona Beach. Same story through Leesburg and Claremont. 74 right now in Cocoa Beach. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Now, temperatures getting real close to near 90 for the third day in a row. We're going to stay mostly dry. But not only is it going to be actually near 90, the feels like temperature, when you factor in that humidity, we will have a bit of a heat index. Not so much along in the I-4 corridor or along the coastline because of that onshore breeze, but our far western communities. So I'm talking to you guys in Marion County, Lake and Sumter, Ocala, the Villages, just like yesterday, you could be feeling like the mid-90s. Now, everyone will still be feeling like the 90s both Saturday and Sunday. If you have some outdoor plans, just make sure to stay hydrated, find the shade, wear the sunscreen. There's that record to beat set back just a few years ago in 2022. But as we look here at the clouds and rain forecast, there will be a change. Right now, we are tracking a line of extremely strong to severe storms across the Mississippi Valley. That's going to stay up to the north for a little bit. But then we'll finally get enough energy and push to move that cold front here into central Florida by Monday and Tuesday. Stop the clock here. This is late, around 7 in the evening on Monday, bringing some scattered showers throughout Tuesday afternoon as well. Rain chances on Tuesday, that's going to be our highest threat, running about a 30 to 50% chance of rain across the board. But once we see that cold front clear, look at those temperatures to come Tuesday and Wednesday. And as of right now, some of our far extended forecasts showing that we could be staying below average for pretty much the majority of next week. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Bring in Easter. Nice.
Not yet. Easter is still
a 2 weeks out. It's not a long way. Easter's like only 2 weeks away.
It's in 3 weekends.
If anyone has that calculated because of her household, it is the chief. Brevard County, you guys look good this morning. No crashes, no slowdowns, no heavy constructions. Just outside of Palm Bay, I-95 at the 176 looks good. And then Florida Turnpike down in Osceola County. Kenansville was we were talking about this before the show started off. You guys have some of the best chicken fingers at this gas station down here off of 441. Things look good. You guys are clear. Guys, back to you.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Steve. 2 more downtown Orlando bars closing up shop.
Yeah, at the top of the hour, the rules they have left with no other choice. And the Florida Gators, one step closer to taking the court for the Final Four, the send-off the team got before heading to Texas.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
Insiders.
What is a News 6 Insider? Find out at clickorlando.com/insider.
Beryl, Helene, and Milton have officially been retired as Atlantic hurricane names in the wake of the deadly 2024 season. Helene was the deadliest U.S. hurricane since Katrina in 2005. Killing about 250 people. The World Meteorological Organization Hurricane Committee retires named storms that have been especially deadly or destructive. They do it to avoid confusion in future seasons. The names Brianna, Holly, and Miguel will be used in their place. A total of 100 names have now been retired and will never be used again.
Well, some good news here. The Florida Gators men's basketball team waking up in Texas ahead of this weekend's Final Four matchup.
Should be a great one. Yeah, here's some video of the team arriving in San Antonio yesterday. It's the first time the Gators have made it to the Final Four since 2014, and fans could not be happier. In fact, we have some video from the scene yesterday at UF in Gainesville as the team boarded buses and headed to the airport. Hundreds sending them off in cheers, wearing that blue and orange. The Gators will take on Auburn Saturday night with tip-off happening just after 6, and you can watch it live right here on WKMG. Go Gators. Well, it's something many parents look forward to, especially near back-to-school time.
But the state's tax-free holidays could soon be going away. Still ahead, the proposal lawmakers are considering and what the governor wants instead.
Get the latest news, weather, and more from the News 6 Plus streaming app. Visit the Roku App Store to download the News 6 Plus app today.